I want to challenge you to be one of those speakers in something like this, and where you're stepping into your greatness, where you're leaving your legacy, where you're making the difference that you were born to make. How many of you are just committed? Yes. Yeah, baby. I am too. I'm so excited. So I've known these gentlemen for a while, and I just really want to, say, challenge you. Now, I know we're creating videos. We've got websites. We've got intro videos. But again, remember, I want my speakers not to be good, but what? Great. And I want you to be greatness. And I think greatness starts with your image of what you're portraying. People look at you. You know, they go to your website. They go to your social media. And here's the stat. 9 out of 10 people, before they'll buy from you, will check you out on social media, check you out online before they buy. And when they do buy as a speaker, that's where they're looking to see if you're congruent. So it's very important to make sure we get this brand. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to take the time to really interview these guys, and I wanted to ask them some questions about how do you create video like this? How do you create world-class video? What are some of the trigger points? You know, how do you engage an audience? So that way we can learn from these guys. So let's give them a warm welcome. Come on back up here, you guys. By the way, what do you guys think? Let's give them a hand. That was amazing. Thank you. You guys are awesome. You guys are really great. So I've got a question for you guys. And obviously, we're all thought leaders and we're all speakers trying to make a difference. What do you think when somebody starts doing video work, what do you see, I think, the biggest mistakes?
Biggest mistakes. You want to take that one first, and I'll answer.
Well, I'm just glad we're on the chair so I can show off my socks. Ron would really appreciate that.
Yes.
So I just wanted to. There we go. Me and Ron.
It's going to be the new thing. Back in the day, it was the speakers with their watches. Now it's going to be the socks.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I feel like I'm out of it.
See, he's not the speaker, so he doesn't.
I just get creative with the video.
So biggest mistakes as a speaker, make sure you got nice socks. So these guys are doing video work, and you know, I think there's some internet marketers telling me, oh, just make some mumbo jumbo video work. What do you see, you guys, as biggest mistakes?
I'll let you.
Okay.
I'll let you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, you know, one of the biggest mistakes I see is people really building themselves up. I mean, they go through the effort of networking, of building their brand, trying to get out there, and then they send people to either their website or even they haven't done any video work, or they've done a little bit of video work, and it's just subpar, and they're expecting to get paid massive amounts of money for what they're doing, or charge massive amounts, and it's like when you go to the dollar store and you see the same toy at Toys R Us. The difference was the packaging, right? One's $1, one's $40. Mm-hmm. So it's really about the packaging and how you sell it. And when you have poor video, it shows that the perceived value is less.
I just think that it separates from amateurs to professionals. What do you guys think? I really think it does. I think it represents you and your brand. I even think when people do a book and you look at the book and it looks like a cheap book, I think you're better off not even giving people the book if it looks like amateur hour. What do you guys think? I think so too.
Well, here's the biggest problem with that, Dave, that I say, I'll make sure you guys understand it. It really comes down to the 3 C's, and I've heard that throughout the week is, it's not, in the old days, it was show me your credibility, which was a business card, right? Let me see your card. Now it's people want to see. They show me your credibility. They're going to go online, and they want to see your credibility and see what you're about. And you have to, especially in today's world, it's a thin slice world. That's why a friend of mine says, oh, Evan, I love your video. You got the voice of God on there. You have to catch them, right away and keep their attention because you're competing with all the other stuff that's out there. Mm-hmm. And again, the second they meet you and they see something cheesy, it's like someone handing you a business card that is printed on regular paper with the cutouts. It's just thrown away. How many people click on a website? Oh, forget that guy. And then the second C comes down to it's really about connections. It's not about who you know, it's who knows you. And the way to get connections, obviously, is through credibility. And I'll give you a great story that happened yesterday. This isn't, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to press upon you. So this isn't Evan trying to be a big shot. But I took Jeff last night, to the Magic game, and we had courtside seats. I have a connection because of my credibility with the owner of the Orlando Magic. I said, hey, I'm coming into town. You got any courtside seats for me? Sure, Ev. So we're sitting there courtside, and I'm talking to the person right next to us. And it's, so, what kind of business do you own? And he's like, well, I'm in banking and this and this. And we got talking, and this guy's a documentary nut. And we just start talking about documentaries. And he's like, oh, have you seen this one? Oh, have you seen this one? Oh, have you seen this one? He's listing off these obscure documentaries. And his wife said, oh, we love this and this and this. World-class people watch documentaries. That's what they do. They're not going to the next, they're not watching Transformers, okay? They're watching documentaries. And that builds the massive credibility and the connections. Because imagine if, and this guy's not a famous name guy. He's just some rich mega broker who's watching documentaries. And, hey, I need someone to speak for my company. Gosh, why don't I hire that guy who was in that documentary I just saw? And he's not going to be, a $500 speaking fee or a $1,000 speaking fee. He's expecting to pay 5 and 6 figures, okay?
Now I know I like documentaries.
There you go. And then the last C, Dave, really comes down to, and this is big for me because you talked about it too. The last C comes down to chance. You have no chance, 0, to get the message that's in you out if you don't have credibility and you don't have connections. Now, should it be that way? No. Okay? It shouldn't be that way, but that's the way the game is played. I see people on these talk shows and this and this and this, and I know you've probably seen them too, and if you're like me, you're sitting there going, how come they're not interviewing me? How many are brave enough to say they've been in that position?
I was going to ask, how come I'm not in the video?
Yeah. Why? Where am I? Okay?
Let me ask you, how many of you would like to be in a video like that? I mean, I want to be in one.
So
I can see how it can.
Yeah.
I can use it for marketing and positioning and stuff.
You're in the sequel.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Words
in
of
the
art
sequel,
too,
right?
baby.
All right, he heard it. Make sure we got on film. I'm in the sequel.
He's got it. So it just
sequel.
hurts my heart to see people with great messages that can't get it out there because they think their little shaky, cheesy iPhone 4 video on their website is going to do it. And it's not. People, look, meeting planners, people that book speakers, they don't book you. They book your reel. Because that's all they have to go by. That's their authenticity. If you don't have a reel, you can't get booked in the bigger stuff.
Yeah, let me ask you this question. How many of you are looking to get more speaking gigs? Let me see your hands. Okay, put your hands down. How many of you that had your hands up have a speaker reel? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So literally, for those of you who have the reel, you have an unfair advantage because you did a strategy and activity above and beyond than the common speaker reel. Now, we have above common speakers here, so I guarantee if we went to the NSA and asked them, maybe 1% have them. But now, out of those that you raised your hand in your speaker reel, how many of you don't have a B roll but an A roll, right? How many of you have a really nice one that you really be proud of? Let me just see your hands.
Seth.
Nobody. Does anybody
We
have
got
one?
one. We got
There's
one.
Seth.
There's Seth.
Seth. Oh, okay. Well, he doesn't count. I just kidding. So I think it's an important tool, strategy that we could consider to get on more stages is having an amazing speaker reel. Let me ask you guys this question because I actually saw there was a pretty cool company here in Tampa that helps people with publishing and branding and stuff. And you went to their website, and everybody wants to know who the personality of the people are. They want to know, they buy you first in your business. They had this great documentary, not of what the product was, but about the people and their cool environment and meeting the people. And they had this like sizzle reel, like 3-4 minutes. And I actually was like, wow, I actually fell in love with that company. And I'm like, Dustin, let's do this for us because I can see that when people go to a website, it's just a brochure. There's no engagement. There's no emotion. They don't know who you are. It's black and white, and they're gone. So tell us about what you guys have seen, how to use video to capture that.
Well, actually, kind of along those lines, I was wondering, since you've made that investment in coming to me and producing Words of Art, what the impact in the C's, what have you seen in your business?
That's a great question. Again, I'm a big transparency guy. You know, here's the real deal. I was one of these stubborn. I mean, I'm like kind of like I love Jim Rohn because I'm kind of historian. I'm traditionally a businessman, so I had these businesses going, all this stuff going, and we're successful and great. That's wonderful. And I really wanted to get into the personal growth space. And I wrote a book, and everybody who read the book was like, Evan, this book changed my life. This, I mean, like real, like not like fluff, but like, man, on page 27, you said this. I'm like, oh, I did say that, yeah. I mean, just stuff that really changed people's lives. And I realized, man, if more people could read this book, I could help more people. But I was frustrated at the system and the game and the whole thing and da-da-da-da. And so I fought tooth and nail. I don't need a sizzle reel. That's just fluff and stuff. Why don't they get to know me? They need to know who I am. And it was like, okay, so with that attitude, the people that invited me to speak were very low. Once I got my sizzle reel, then it's like, it was about how to learn how to gracefully turn things down. Okay? And you guys saw it. And it's not that Evan's so exciting talking to me in the third person. I now get standing ovations before I speak when I show the sizzle reel. Yep. You guys were witness. Hey, whoa, he's kissing his wife. Oh, yeah, it's exciting. Because now you get a snapshot of who I really am. If I could spend 10 minutes with you, I talk to you about me and my bride getting remarried every state or country and all the stuff that we do, but that's not realistic. But I can put it in a package so people get, hey, that's that spazzy bald guy. I like him. Okay? And so that's the thing. You can put together a sizzle reel, but it has to tell your story. And we've all seen a lot of crappy documentaries. And you've seen stories that are told wrong. And so what I love about some of the products that you guys have is you're going to help people craft their story and craft the message on the stage. Because you're like, well, what about this and this and this? And it's like, well, if people don't get it, right? So Jeff is able to craft your story, put it in something quick so people get it and go, oh, that's who that guy is. So literally the speaker reel has changed my life because I have so much stuff and everything going on. The running joke in our family is, I don't like going to these events, not these events, but like mixers where people don't know who I am because it's like, I need 10 minutes to explain all the things that I do. It's like, so who are you? What do you do? Oh, well, I got a production company, I got a business, it's like, people are just, can I just show you my reel? Here, let me just about the phone. So literally my life has changed because now they show the reel and the room instantly gets who I am. People instantly get the real person who I am, and it's like, and it's relaxing. It's like, oh, and it's not this fake kind of. So a lot of people think with sizzle and stuff, it's like you're talking about the videos you engage with those people because the video is about who they are. So Jeff is the master storyteller about getting who you are on a website, so people go, I like that person. Not everybody wants to book the spazzy bald guy. Okay, they want to book you, but they have to know who you are. And so you need something of high quality, Oscar caliber quality, and then people go, wow, I want to book that person. I want to know who that person is. They're cool. So I hope that makes sense.
Well, let me just share something. So now, just understand this. Sometimes your speaking gigs can be a big, when I want to say ripple effect in your career. And certain gigs will be the Super Bowl for you. So when me and Dustin, we were in the real estate business, I just lost my passion for real estate. I probably make 1,000 times more money if I get back in how to get rich in real estate. I just don't have any passion to teach people that. So me and Dustin, we want to start teaching these leaders, these speakers. So Larry Benet from the SANG organization, which is kind of like the TED Talk, asked us to come speak and have me speak to the speakers about speaking. Now, here was our biggest challenge. Me and Dustin didn't have the credibility. We really just started, and we were still known as the real estate guys. So at this conference, it was like our ideal scene. All the speakers were there, and I'm teaching speakers training. Now, the problem is the credibility I had compared to some of the other guys. Like before me was Tony Hsieh from Zappos, who was a billionaire, spoke before me. We had Bill Bartman, who was another billionaire. We had Mark Victor Hansen speaking there before me. We had Chet Holmes speaking before me. So these are some guys that have done more than I have. And I am to teach them about speaking. Les Brown was there. I mean, all the guys were there, and I'm up on stage. So here's what I want everybody to write down. Play every ace. We did. We always play every ace. And what I mean playing every ace is that when you have a home study kit, you have the best home study kit. When you have a home study kit, it's the biggest, most colorful home study kit. We take things outside of us to make us better. We use the best equipment, the best bats, the best tennis rackets, the best shoes. So I said, Dustin, I know my friend who I love, Larry Benet. Do you think he's going to do a good job introducing me or a bad job? A bad one. Right, speakers? How many actually, besides Ron, how many MC speakers give a good introduction to you? Well, it's horrible, isn't it? It's horrible. Now, here's what happened. We created the video, and literally, I played it, okay? And I'll tell you in a moment what happened. And literally, here's what I know. There's two parts of the mind. We've got the conscious and we've got the subconscious. The conscious is the gatekeeper. If I got up there and says, hey, my name's Dave Van Hoose. I grow an Inc. 500 companies, the 35th fastest company in America. I'm AKA known as a celebrity speaker coach, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What will happen is the gatekeeper might prevent that coming in. However, the mind, does it see words or does it see pictures? Pictures. And we said all buying decisions are based on what? Emotion. So, is a movie emotional and pictures. So knowing that whatever they see up here, they all believe as truth. Okay? So we created the intro video, and Larry played it, and I got up on stage, and I got a standing ovation at the whole Sang conference.
I was there. I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I got a standing ovation, and I'm like, I thought, man, I'm the weakest one here. However, it was all about the intro video. Now, I think Furley talked about first impressions. You only get one first impression. So why not start your presentation off by being up here, then have to go, well, I got to grab the attention, got to build rapport, get them in emotional state, talk about my credibility, talk about my success, let them know I'm congruent. And the intro video did all the heavy lifting for me. Now, I can tell you, we spent $5,000 to $10,000 for that intro video, and it's made us, I would say, probably about $700,000 to $800,000. So obviously, it's a good ROI. You only need one good stage later, and it increased the percentage of the close to pay for it, especially if your product is $1,000. You only need to sell a couple more, and you can justify the ROI for the intro video. Now, with the intro video, for us, we have used it for a variety of different things. For credibility, our customers see it. We put it on our website. We've used it for launches, and it has been a good tool for us. Now, I'm just telling you through my experience, it's helped us a lot. And I think I would encourage you guys, because the problem I see is most speakers play average. They don't want to be trained, and they don't want to have an intro video, and they don't want to have beautiful PowerPoint slides, and they have a crappy product. I want you to be a legend. I want you to be the best. And I'm here to challenge you to become the best. And that starts before you get up on stage. Do you guys agree with that? Yes or yes? Yeah, and that's the truth. So now that we know, I mean, obviously, we got to have an intro video. We're speakers. What are some of the things? What should be in an intro video that you guys have discovered? Because there's got to be a blueprint.
Yeah. Well, the truth is, a lot of people will come to us with a variety of what we call assets. You've got your standard footage. You've got pictures. You want pictures not just of you at home on the couch, right? But you want with your arm around, right? Zig Ziglar and the people who are credible.
I sent him those, and he cut them out on my intro. By the way, it was,
yeah.
I was like, we can't put that. He's like, no, you don't.
So you get pictures. You got your footage. You got the B-roll footage, which Evan, you saw in Evans with him marrying his wife in D.C., which I was there for, and fortunately got to shoot. And you got to make an effort to get those things, because that's what's going to separate you. Like he's saying, it's going to make you have a better product or a better presence before you're even on stage. You've got the footage. You've got testimonials. Video testimonials are important when you do this. You're here with peers and people that can also lend credibility. Make sure you get testimonials with good sounding audio. Written testimonials, we can work those in. We've had people come to us with one 10-minute clip, a couple pictures, and we can turn that into something that it makes them look a lot bigger than they were.
Yeah.
You know? So there's no starting point. You can just start, right? I mean, everybody can come in no matter where you're at. You may have a lot. And then you just kind of pick your
There's
genre.
a couple things that I personally like about your intro video. I love you coming out of the helicopter. You know, to me, that shows power, elegance, and success. And being in a nice sports car. But, you know, one of the things I've learned writing these presentations is I also forget a lot is that in the MLM world, they don't sell the product. They sell what? The lifestyle. And we forget that people don't buy our product. They buy the lifestyle. The better your product is and the more you are attached to your product, it really locks us down, and it gives us actually a disadvantage when it comes to selling. I know that sounds very backwards, but that is the truth. And we can remember, we want to edutain today, coach tomorrow. We don't want to become a free consultant, do we? And that's what a lot of us become. We become free consultants. So we have to edutain today, coach tomorrow. And that's what the preview presentation is all about. It's the edutainment. And the great thing is my presentation is called the Presentainer Blueprint, how to presentain. And why not start with the intro video to go into the presentating. I also like the fact that you associated yourself with a lot of famous people. Did you guys see that? How you associate with all these rock stars. Even rock stars that are not even still alive, I still associated you with them. Did you guys catch that? Our subconscious mind doesn't see that, and it's a great association. So I love the fact you had your sports car, you came out of the helicopter, you were now with Zig Ziglar, you're now with all these great leaders. Oh my gosh, I'm already starting to like and trust this guy and fall in love. He gets married with his wife every year. Wow. Man, I need to step my game up. Maybe I should go buy his product because this guy has a lifestyle. And that's why they come to these boot camps and seminars, because they're looking to improve their lifestyle. What are some of the other things that maybe you put in there that we didn't see that really help motivate the audience?
Well, let me just, I would love to give you the behind the scenes of some of those shots, because you guys would be on the floor going, that's what happened, really? So we're filming, I'll just tell you real quick, we're filming the helicopter shot, my bride and I. And of course, again, perception, right? Oh, they just walked out of the helicopter and we got one shot and we're done. No. That was like take 25. So Jeff is screaming at me. I got my kids in the car waiting. Jeff is screaming at me, going, dude, you're too tense. Look relaxed. I'm like, dude, there's a helicopter blade 3 inches from my head, and if I had hair, it would be gone. And my bride's trying to be glamorous and walk, and it's like, and it looks all cool up there, but we're like, the first clip, it's kind of like this.
It looks like James Bond, coming out of the helicopter. I think it's pretty cool.
But what a lot of people don't realize, and we'll use the clip and then words of art too. I mean, you're doing a movie called Words of Art, right? Words are the important part. But how different do you think that movie would have been if there wasn't any music? Okay, and it's not just any music. It's about timing the music to bring the emotion out. And that's what masters do. Okay, he has the repertoire to say, oh, we can put this note here and this note. I've seen Words of Art, I'd love to say 1,000 times if I've seen it once. And I still get goosebumps because of the music. And it's like, oh, here's the part where Josh just, oh, and then they go down my spine, he's talking about this. So the music is what creates that emotion, and that's the magic of what creative masters can do. And that's what he learned.
That must have been, oh my God.
But I mean, if you think it's the 10,000 hour rule, you guys Malcolm Gladwell, anybody read Malcolm Gladwell? You know, it's like, okay, the 10,000 hour. Joel, so we got a lot of Joel Osteen fans? Most people don't know Joel spent 16 years filming his father behind the scenes. So
speaking?
He was filming his dad.
As his dad was a speaker?
Yeah, his dad was the pastor before, and he was the AV guy. I don't want to be in front of the camera. Don't put me on stage. Yeah, and so suddenly he's thrust in the light, but after all that time, he understands, hey, this is what catches people's attention because he's watching it, and he's putting it together. So all the 10,000 hours that he spent watching the drunk brother-in-law. Yeah, and then we went over. But understanding how can I tell this story of this person's wedding, because every story is different, right? And so that is what he's able to bring and understand how to really, and that's the master part. Anybody can put a bunch of clips together and throw just a lame track underneath, but it's just like, eh. So I'd love to, if we had time, to show you the different versions, like my intro, right? What if the voice of God wasn't talking? It was just, no sound. Like, okay. And the whoosh, and the whooshes and the this. I mean, it's all layered upon layer. And if you take off the layers, it's like, oh, yeah. A good friend of mine is a movie composer. He just filmed, you guys see the documentary America? Anybody see that one? No? Oh, you got it. Okay. He scored that one. And he is the master of eliciting emotions and music and all this stuff. And he says, you ever notice, try watching a film without music. And it's just like, okay, right? But then when the music comes down, you're like, and so again, you have to be a master putting that together. So that's what a lot of people miss, is they just think it's like a formula, right? Okay, just put this clip here and show the helicopter and kiss the wife and done. No, you have to weave it in and make it personal, which is, again, his 10,000 hours.
The other thing I think that's really cool in the intro video, I'm not to see if you've seen this, is people being seen like they're on TV. Now, in my intro video that you guys created for me, in Dustin, you see us, we look like we're on the news station. We're on this desk and all this stuff's behind us. So what's happening is what we're trying to create is, wow, these guys are like celebrities. They're on TV. They're on the news. But literally, that's just a green screen. I don't know if you guys knew that. It looks like that we're on the TV, but we're not. And I like that in the intro videos.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think some of the things that when they created my intro video, did you guys see my intro video yesterday? So these guys are the ones that created it. And what I wanted them to do is portray, obviously, fun, excitement, some music. I wanted to make sure that they had, Fox TV and all these different symbols that I can associate myself with on there. The Inc. 500 you guys put in there, which I really thought was awesome. The thing coming up showing profit. And it really does a good job of really exciting people's imagination. Now, one of the things that I have to remind us all about, we're not in the education business. Now, I know that is hard for us to swallow. We are in the entertainment business that educates. Remember that. And it hit me. How many of you have a radio show? Let me see your hands. And how many of you guys do webinars? I did my radio show for a year. I interviewed all these people. And I'm getting ready to interview. I'm like, man, I'm going to build so much value for these people. I'm going to pick this guy's brain apart. We're going to go this because I'm good at asking questions. I know how to get the information out of him. And I'm doing this. I go, what the heck am I doing? These people don't want to be trained. They want to be entertained. Does Oprah go and pick people's brains apart and trains everybody, or does she entertain everybody? She entertains. We want to be like Oprah, right? We want to get our message across. We have to be entertainers first, then educators second. Does that make sense to everybody? It's just the way it is. I didn't make the rules. I'm just telling you, we are an entertainment business. Now, educators, we've got to use tools like intro videos and other things, telling stories to really, really entertain our people. And because we all know that stories sell, facts tell. So another cool thing, how many of you in this room want to sell high-end products? Let me see your hands. One of the strategies that Dustin's put together is obviously when somebody's investing a lot of money into your coaching or your mastermind, they literally like to have what they call a shock and awe. They like to have something physical. So Dustin's created like a nice packet that we mail to people. In there it has like an application of our coaching, some credibility, and in that packet is our sizzle reel, is our intro video. And we send it to people. People don't read the stuff, but they put the video in. They go, man, we saw your video, man. Everybody's like, where'd you get that at? They ask about, where'd you get that at? And then they find out, where's that? Because they want to copy it.
We still have calls from big names from saying, saying, I want one like Dustin and Dave's.
I bet.
I'm like, you don't have one? Been around for years.
Yeah, I get people calling me up and goes, oh, hey, you remember the intro video? I'm like, yeah. They go, well, you know, I'd like to see it again. I'm like, I already know what they're up to. I'm like, guys, if you want to copy it, it's online. On the website. Go ahead, you know. It's okay to copy ours.
That's good.
This is the copycat industry, by the way, unfortunately. So questions, yes?
How long do you spend getting to know the person you're working with so that you can incorporate like the different aspects of their personality and what they want to do into the videos that you put together?
Well, we work with them a little bit on the scripting or the outline. We don't need a whole lot of time because you know you best, so you help in that process. And then we're obviously expert in doing this. We've been doing this for a while, so we can ingest that and create something fairly quickly. Yeah, we have an intake process. You know, there's a whole process behind it and a system so that we can get this to you effectively and quickly.
Yeah, they just, I think that intro video you saw, I think you guys put that together 2 weeks before this event. I'm like, man, I want my intro video better. I'm always pushing the envelope. I'm like, Jeff, you got to make it awesome. And he said, no problem.
That's good.
And what did you guys think of it? It was really good, wasn't it? And very entertaining. And actually, it's going to absolutely increase sales, for sure. Absolutely. So I'm excited. Any other questions about?
I have a question actually more for the audience. I love the power and importance of music, and I believe in that. I wasn't aware of music except the way it was making me feel during it. And I have to see it like 2 or 3 times before I think, oh, the song. And I'm wondering if that's typical or.
Well, that's the magic. My friend is a film scorer. The biggest frustration about this industry is if you notice it, something's wrong. Right. You notice when the music's off, you notice when the clip is off, you notice but when you don't notice something, that's the reaction you're looking for. I didn't really notice the music. I just, So yeah, for me, that's a tough part. It's like, how do you build an industry where nobody notices? Right. And if they do notice, this is off, this is off.
Any other questions about documentaries or intro videos? I think a good example, a case study would be The Secret. You know, there was a lot of speakers that got together. They all did a documentary. The Secret, it took off. And now these people are famous overnight. Now everybody knows who these people are in The Secret, and they're willing to throw whatever money at them because now they're the expert in that. They made a ton of money from The Secret. However, I think they left a tremendous amount of money on the table by not doing what I believe is they should have went to city to city to city to do The Secret boot camp. If you guys like the movie, come to the event. All their trained speakers like you, they're going to teach and they offer up their coaching. Man, the money, I'm thinking, I was trying to get home. I'm like, gosh, I will run all the secret boot camps for you. Oh, my Lord.
Well, let me share on that just a quick. I know some of you may be out there, kind of like me. I'm the positive guy, but in my head, I'm kind of cynical. And it's always like, okay, yeah, well, that's great for you. You know, what about me, right? I don't have a video next to Joel Osteen. You know, what about me? So I want to tell you a story about Angela. Now, it's funny, when I imitate people, they're like, I don't sound like that. My bride's like, I don't sound like that. I'm like, I'm just generalizing. So Angela, I'm at an event, I'm on a panel. They introduce the producer, right? We show the trailer, everyone's excited. It was a women's event. And I come down from the panel and literally swarmed by women with their stuff. Here's my book, here's my thing, I want to make a movie with you, you know, telling them, they're pitching me, right? So and it wasn't really put together really well, so I just have this mob like in the corner. So I'm trying to get to everybody. It's like, didn't have time to say, can we line up, right, and do this, like a book signing, right? People line up and they actually.
We'll tell you, not book signing. Everybody grab their credit cards out right now.
Yeah. Let's go. We'll swipe.
I got my swiper right here in my back pocket.
So I'm in this process, and all of a sudden I see this young lady, like in the midst of the battle, coming towards me with this. Basically, it was like a glowing light. She radiated. She radiated love. She radiated happiness. I'm like, wow, she's happy. And I got all these people, trying to pitch me. And I'm like weeding through, and she's got her stuff. She's got her stuff with me. She's coming towards me, and I'm like, and I literally brought her up. I'm like, who are you? What are you about? I rarely see really happy, excited people. She goes, hi, my name's Angela, and I just want to get you my stuff. And I was like, okay, great. I met everybody, and I took her stuff home, and I told my bride about her. I was like, man, I met this amazing gal. Her name was Angela. She looked ageless. Her skin was perfect. As I'm losing hair and getting sunspots, I noticed, people's perfect complexions. I'm just like, man, how do I get that? And so she gave me her stuff, and I read her book, and I'm like, oh, I got the wrong material. This is a story about a lady whose children have died. This is a story about a lady whose husband had a brain aneurysm and can't talk anymore. This is a story about a woman whose brother killed her sister. I got the wrong book, so I called her. I'm like, this book has your name on it, but it's not your story. She goes, oh, no, that's my story. Her story is Miracles in Action, how to turn your pain into power and your grief into peace.
Ooh,
and
wow.
I was like, this is exciting. We need to make a documentary about this. And she's like, yeah, I would love to get this message out and da-da-da. So we got together. We ended up co-producing it with her. And this is what she said, because to make a documentary, it's an investment, okay? But she said, she looked me right in the eye, she says, I don't have the money, but I'll get it. And I said, okay, well, we're going to underwrite a piece of this. I love this story. This is fantastic, okay? She put a Kickstarter campaign out. And everyone came out of the woodwork to support her because she had credibility, because I'm working with the producer of Words of Art, with Joel Osteen, and da-da-da. Where before, she wouldn't have had that credibility. So she's able to leverage my creativity to get her story told. And I was able to co-produce, underwrite some of the costs to get her story. And now she has a story for the ages, the movie we just finished. And now she's going to be able to reach the world with her story. And I know in this room there's better stories than that. And I want to hear them. And we're ready to produce some more stories. So we want your stories, and we want to hear you. And we have ways of, Hollywood's always about creative financing, right? So if you don't have, all this money in your credit card, that's fine, but we will still want to work with you and put it together. So if we can, I have a clip, if you want to see Angela's clip, because again, okay, Joel's not in it, right? Okay, so let's see what we did with Angela. If we get the lights down, that'd be great.
Growing up in St. Louis, there was this lady who lived across the street, and her son died many years ago. And every anniversary of his birthday, holiday, Christmas, Thanksgiving, I would hear her crying from across the street all day long. And I had never experienced any type of death at that time. And I just told myself, you know what? I said, I'm just not going to deal with it that way. I'm sure they wouldn't want you being miserable like that all day long, holiday after holiday after holiday. The whole neighborhood was affected by that.
What have you been through?
What have I been through? My name is Angela Alexander. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, where it's extremely hot in the summer and very cold in the winter. My mother had 8 children. So I have 7 brothers and sisters, and I am the 7th wonder. My father, he's a hard worker, 8 children. He was a chef. He had a restaurant called Billy's Walk Up. My father moved to the West Coast, and then my brother Barron, eventually Alice moved to the West Coast. We all just kind of migrated. I feel my life has been definitely a roller coaster, and I have a lot of joy in my life, but it's definitely been a lot of ups and downs.
Well, what I like to do
real
is...
quick, I'm sorry to cut you off, but just so you know, Angela recently, now this is the key, she was, how many have heard of the Women's Conference in California?
California
Women's Conference, Marie Shriver and the whole thing. That's like a big, big event. Okay, thousands of people apply for that event. How would you like to be invited to events like that?
Yeah.
Okay, because she was talking to a person and said, oh, I'm having a documentary made about my story. She was invited to speak at the California Women's Conference. What Dave said, he got the leverage from the video at saying. Angela now, instead of, oh, pick me, it's like, oh, we want you. All because she said, oh, yeah, I'm having a documentary made about me. And the power from that got her invited to that. And so we actually we were still making it. So we got the cameras out and we're filming her and doing the whole thing. Yeah, and it's actually in the documentary. So again, it's not about, oh, you have to know all these contacts and know Joseph and all this. It's about your story and bringing your story out. And whatever your story is, it is. And I'm just really excited to hear from you guys because I know there are some Academy Award-winning documentaries out there that I'm excited to make.
Well, here's what I like to do. I like for us to go on a break. And how many of you would maybe possibly think about doing a documentary or an intro video? Let me see your guys' hands. Oh, wow, that's a lot of you. So if you guys wouldn't mind, would you guys maybe sit down with people today and tomorrow, talk a little about, get to know their story, take a look at what they've got, and give them some strategies and some suggestions? Would that be cool with you guys?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's do this. You've got your team back there. We're going to take a 15-minute break. Why don't you sign up for different times so that you can meet these beautiful gentlemen here and see what kind of story they can produce for you. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.